Yo, you guys hear me? Yo, you guys hear me? I have so many audio things on here, I don't know what's picking up what because it's been a while. I think I also need to do something here. Let me see something here. Put a light on me so I'm easily visible. My camera is also weirdly inverted. Why is that the case? I don't know about you guys, but it is incredibly hot outside where I live, and it is incredibly hot in my room because I live in the upstairs part of my house. So it is swelteringly hot. Trying to make sure my audio is working for the stream. Alright, so let me get this put up here. What I'm working on. So do this. Uh-oh, that's all screwed up. See if I can fix this. Had to step out and grab a drink. I'm unsubbing for unprofessionalism. Hey man, I'm dying. I have like 3 bottles of water next to me and also pop. Who even is this guy? I'm a stranger at this point. I haven't been uploading videos. I need to get back on the train. Slacking. Hella slacking, as the kids would say. Let me see if I can fix this up. Can you guys hear the music? I just have like dungeon synth music playing. It's kind of subtle, but it should be audible. Hopefully my fan is not incredibly loud. I'm not turning my fan off.
I'm spending an obscene amount of money on takeout every done.
I'm getting back on track with Factor. Fresh.
There we go. Alright, so the premise of this stream is mainly me just hanging out. I want to add stuff to this D&D module that I'm working on. I don't know if you want to call it a module per se, but what I want to do is make some hardcore rules for the game, along with having like autonomous stat blocks. So the idea is like you go, like let's say the dungeon master wants to, hold on one second, why is this showing up like that? Close this out. Close this, close this, close this. I don't need this stuff open. Bonjour! Hello. How's it going? How's it going? So what I wanted to do here is basically, hold on, god damn it, I have everything screwed up. There we go. So I want to make a module that is an autonomous thing. So essentially, like it's sort of like solo play rules, but not really solo play rules. What is up, everybody? Active chat. I love to see it. So I think I had showed you guys these in the Discord if you were in there. a little while ago about these autonomous stat blocks that I was working on, where the creature sort of runs itself. And I kind of had the idea last night, while I was working on it, to make an entire module and like kind of make some zines for it. I think that would be pretty cool. So essentially, you have, let's say you're trying to teach a new player how to play the game or something. So you have you, the dungeon master, and then like the new player. And this could work with, 2, 3, 4 players. I would say, I paused my mental illness music playlist to come here. It runs itself, eh? Very interesting concept. What's the act structure? What's the 3-act structure? I haven't figured that out yet, but it's like essentially, I keep restarting my thought process here. Let me try to get the words out first. So it could work with probably up to 4 players. It'd be a little slow with more than 4 usually, but that's kind of just how base D&D 5e works. So the idea is, in Magic the Gathering, they created these sets that you could play against what is the equivalent of an NPC. And it's just a deck that you just draw from every turn, and then the card tells you what the deck does, and then like you're playing against that. So my idea is to make a rule set so that you can make a character as the dungeon master, play with 2 or 3 players, and like go through a procedurally generating dungeon that like has parameters to it. So it's not just completely random, so where like you can infinitely keep rolling, and then eventually like it gets boring because like, oh, we've rolled 14 random rooms and we still haven't like achieved anything. The idea is this dungeon is considered a long dungeon, so we'll just let me put this out. We'll do like, hold up, dungeon. Something like this. So it would be like, what you need to do is, it'll have X amount of rooms that it can generate before you reach the boss room. So there's a game on Amazon, actually, well, it's not necessarily on Amazon, but it's called Escape the Dark Castle, I think. Yes, this is a really, really cool game. Let me see if I can bring it up here on screen. It's kind of inspired by this game. So, this is a card game, and what you do is you draw from this deck here, and this tells you like what room you just entered and like what's in the room. So like you'll have your character, and then there's like always a boss fight at the end. So like you're drawing cards, you get, okay, we cleared this room out, let's go into the next room. You roll on a random table, it tells you what the next room is. And then we'll say like you put a parameter in that says after you roll X amount of rooms, you reach the boss room. And then it's a boss fight. So in Escape the Dark Castle, the dark one is the boss fight. And it's like this thing that everybody has a group effort to defeat. And this game's only dice rolling, so like you pick a character, but you're not like moving around or anything. You're just rolling dice and trying to, tick off these counters. Well, with my idea is I have like stat blocks that sort of run themselves. So it would be cool to combine these with you making a character, going through like a procedurally generating dungeon. And I have the kind of luck that would end this after one room. This kind of like, I kind of want to just experiment with this just because it's really, as a dungeon master, you are a player, but like you don't really get to be a player character. So this is kind of like that excuse that you get to be a player character because the monsters act on their own. So that's kind of the idea behind this. So, you walk into a room, the room description says, there are 12 skeletons in this room, roll initiative or something, and then like boom, initiative starts. All the skeletons act on their own. You're playing with your players, the skeletons are going to act accordingly based on what their stat blocks say. And then I haven't really conceptualized how I would do like trap generation or anything like that. Dungeon Masters get to be the world itself. Yeah, I know that, but it's still, you know, this could work for solo play too. Procedurally generated solo play. Yeah, it's sort of like that, but even, you know, it could work as like a duo play as well. My idea is to also make this very brutal, so like capping hit points at 30, making it so that like you can't make an incredibly OP character. Maybe like you can't learn spells past 5th level. You can only cast them via a spell scroll. So like this is sort of more of a new game mode that uses D&D 5e as a baseline. So it's still D&D 5e, but you know, it's like its own cool thing. That's the idea, anyways. I thought about it last night. So the first roll of the model is to roll your weakness. No, this, like, you still make your character. It's just that like character health and stuff like that is going to be a little different. So in normal 5e, like, your health scales incredibly high, and it's just like insane and really hard to challenge players. So what I would like to do is, at first level, you add your con mod to your HP, but after that, you no longer add your con mod to your HP, and then your HP itself caps at 30. So it will never go above 30. So you can level up to whatever many levels. And this would probably be like XP gain.
Highlight the text you want to simplify.
Damn it. I don't want ads. Thank you. They're just going to put this playlist on here. This is my classic playlist here. So you're building this system from scratch today, or are we at... Or where are we at with it right now? I'm sort of building it from scratch. I'm probably not going to be able to finish it today, but I could get some of the concepts down. Wow, 2 ads already is crazy. Yeah, YouTube is absolutely asinine with ads. It really annoys me. You can't win. It seems like they do it more when you're not like paying attention to the screen too, so you have to click off and panic to shut the ad off, which is really annoying. What I wanted to do, I don't know if I don't know how far I'll get, because when I'm talking to chat I get distracted really easily, so this might just be you guys hanging out while I talk ideas at you and then never finish anything. That tends to be how I do streams. Dungeon generation, do like stat blocks. Sounds like usual. Yeah, that's the ADHD debuff that I have. Can't focus. Maybe steal Dagger Heart's roll for HP. That's not a bad idea, but that moves very far away from 5e if I do that. So I don't know if I wanna go that route. I think it would just be easier to just cap hit points. Like, just say you can't go over 30 hit points unless you get like a boon or something, because then that's easier. And plus, like, if you do that, that actually makes the game feel way better in my opinion. Because like early game D&D feels really good, but once you get past like 8th or 9th level, it starts to really become a slog in my opinion. So IMO, I think it's better when your HP is just lower. So like, let me just start making some notes here, and hopefully you guys can see this. It might be a little hard to see, so let me like zoom in like that so you can see easier. Okay, HP at first level. Less is more sometimes. Yeah, plus this is simple. It's not like adding too many mechanics, and then you don't have to like make up a custom character sheet. The cap probably would be the same for all classes. Like, barbarians would still be useful because they'll get rage, so they'll have technically 60 HP, so they'll still be filling the same role as like an HP tank. I don't think it would be that bad for them. At first level, HP is rolled as normal using I'll probably have to shorthand this because I can only fit so much on one page. Why's my N key sticky? It's not working. Adding or subtracting con bonus or con modifier after first level. Con is no longer added in HP caps at 30. Personally, I use a 35 cap. Okay, we'll go 35. The thing is, like, I have to sort of try to impose somewhat of a cap just because, like, you're playing against what is essentially a computer-controlled stat block, so it's not going to be as smart as if a player was controlling it. Because the idea is you don't metagame against yourself. So like when if you look at the stat block here, when the monster's attacking you, you don't really know what it's gonna do next because it's all, you know, a random chart that you're rolling on. And then it kind of tells you like how it prioritizes stuff in combat and how it attacks. So like you could still kind of cheese the system, I guess. So that essentially makes con a stat that you could never ASI. Define ASI, please. It's still useful for, you know, making saves against like poison and stuff. This is how HP actually works in Shadow Dark. You use your con at first level, but after that you never use your con. But like poison and stuff is really deadly in Shadow Dark, so like you actually still want to have a high con mod, and like it still works the same way. So I can like I think I can bring up a screenshot of like the modifier table for Shadow Dark, just show you guys, because I know a lot of you don't play Shadow Dark. Only a handful of you do, actually. Let me see here. But that kind of like solves the entire issue of player characters just scaling incredibly hard, because the issue is here, let me put this in here. So like this is what the Shadow Dark stat modifiers look like for players. It works like this for monsters too, but where is the HP rule at? It should be in here somewhere. Hit points, here we go. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so like this is how hit points work in Shadow Dark. Here, I can delete this because that's kind of useless. Where's chat? Where'd you guys go? Okay, continuing the campaign of mixed D&D 5e and Shadow Dark as much as you can. Poison, exhaustion, pain effects, getting set on fire. Don't have to say it on the rules. I think DMs need a reason for things. Need to reason things out on the fly more often than not. Continuing the campaign of mixed D&D 5e. I don't know if I'm necessarily doing that. This is more like a completely different thing. This is like a game mode that I'm making, more like. But like this is how HP works in Shadow Dark, for those of you that don't know. So characters at 0 HP die in 1d4. So that's not relevant to what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this. Oh, this isn't actually the rules that I was looking for. Where's the thing that says you only add your con mod to your HP at first level? I must be losing my mind. You guys are probably like, bro, that's how HP works normally. I just don't know where it's at. But, I mean, you get the point. You guys get what I'm talking about. I mean, con can influence rolls on those things I mentioned. Yes. Yeah, that's... I wouldn't have to write that down. That's still... It's still, like, con is not, like... it's not a stat that you necessarily need to pump points into, right? So you only add con once, but all weapons deal the same damage in Shadow Dark. They deal the same damage, but you don't add your like dex or strength mods to your attack rolls, so it's all just a flat die roll, unless you're playing like a fighter, which does actually add extra points of damage to their damage rolls, but it's like a flat 1 or 2 over time, and you deal more damage the higher you level up. With this, like, obviously when you make the monsters, you're gonna balance this to players having lower HP, so their strength rolled to the attack roll, but not the damage roll. So you would still get like your +4 bonus to like your strength attack roll, but not your damage. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the font size to 14 on this because I'm already going down a little bit. I want to keep enough room in here. Maybe in this case, HP should be die plus mod, con plus level to keep the progression. I think I'm confused by what you said. Die plus M, con plus. I mean, I could still just say, you know, your HP caps out at 35 or whatever, instead of reducing the amount of con that you gain. Instead of rolling extra die on each level. Yes, I agree. HP cap is more important to keep humans feeling like humans. My like left ear is so quiet. It's like my hat is like not. I might just be losing my mind. So that's the biggest change in the beginning. I'm trying to think of other character creation things that I need to keep in mind. One thing that I do want to prevent in this game mode is like min-maxing. So I really think like feats should not be allowed. But that's just I'm heading out, but I'll check back in a few. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for stopping in. But they continue to gain it until 20. I think feats, so I'm gonna do feats. This is gonna make all the players mad because they're gonna actually wig out. Maybe we could make like a currency system that you can purchase feats with or something. Because like, if you take Polearm Master, Tunnel Fighter, what's the protection feat called? It's been so long since I've played 5e. The one that you reduce everything's movement to 0 when they run past you. I don't know, maybe it's not that bad. Do just a TBD. What else? What else can player characters get at a first level that's like OP? Because I have an idea for like making some items. Should I do a single column or should I do it like this? I've experimented in the past with players gaining float con mod per level past 35, but it does get HP bloat. Yeah, that's why I think it should just hard cap at like 30 or 35. 35 is fine, I think. Lingering injuries. I don't know if this should go under character creation or. I need to look at the player's handbook. I really genuinely can't remember what else I'm I'm missing something that's like with the new rules from 2024. Well, I don't suggest it to pass, but first level already caps at 37 if you're a barbarian with 20 con. Does it really? Let me see here, what? I kind of want to nerf spellcasters too. As I always do. I always like to nerf spellcasters. 37. Well, maybe it caps at 30, and then you gain a point per level until you hit 20. What are there any OP things that players can get at level 1 that's like an optional thing that could cause a problem? Fit check, stand up and give us a spin. You don't want to see me, dude. I got the fucking... I'm not very fit. I don't think I'm missing anything. One thing that silver barbs. Oh, yeah. That's like, there's gotta be banned spells. For sure, there's gotta be banned spells. Let's see. Wish, silvery barbs. Wish and well, actually, I can, hold on. Spellcasters cannot learn spells beyond 5th level. 6th, 7th, and 8th level spells. Let me scroll down a bit so you guys can see. Spells can still be cast via spell scrolls. Better hope Caleb is in chat when you talk about nerfing magic. I hope he isn't. Yeah, I don't think he's in here. He would have freaked out already. Spellcasters cannot learn spells beyond 5th level. 6th, 7th, and 8th level spells can still be cast via spell scrolls. In addition, the following spells are banned. Honestly, I'm not too upset with silvery barbs than this, since I'm not the one controlling the monsters, and it's not as annoying. Wish. Actually, I think if I just do this, it's really, that kind of just fixes all the problems. The only thing I am thinking that is an issue is like players casting like grease and then like the monsters just running straight at you and then just slipping in grease, and then like your grease is just OP, you just use it every single fight. It's just kind of annoying. You're gonna give your occultist player some more magic items in today's sesh. Pretty based. Oh yeah, we gotta do resting rolls, of course. Why would I just do... Well, no, okay, these are character creation rules, specifically, maybe. Let me just do... Player rules. We'll do that. Instead of character creation. So I can add all the things I need to add in here. Should make it so that spellcasters cannot learn magic till 7th level. I'm definitely going to do resting rules, because that's like an easy thing to do. Let me duplicate this so I can... Now the idea is I make this into a module that I can reproduce. Okay, I'm gonna have to increase the size of these a little bit. Delete this, let me duplicate. I need to keep a little margin down the middle. 3. Let's try this. Okay, that looks good. Fill like that. I had to step away. What is this heresy about nerfing magic? No, we're not nerfing magic. I would never do such a thing. I'm probably going to have ChatGPT help me shorthand some of this so this doesn't take up too much Ed2 Archivist. What level is this model for? I think you would probably start at level... Like, you could... it probably works the best at level 1 through 5, but you could go above that. It's just that, technically, I kind of fixed the issue with high-level spells breaking the thing, so... When I make this specifically, this will probably be for, like, 1st to 5th level characters. It'll be deadlier the lower level that you are. It's at least 1st level, yeah. So it's a campaign. I would say, like, it'll have, like, an example campaign in it. It's not going to be, like, a comprehensive, humongous thing, but it'll have, like, an example dungeon quest that you can go on, because there are, like, example things like that in official books, I think. Resting rules. It's an alternative ruling, I believe. Okay, we're going to do this. This is going to be the most based set of resting rules that you guys have ever seen. Player characters regain 1 HP per day. Based. That's it. Hey, how's it going? What's up, Zarek Odensky? How are you, my man? Sorry for jumping in late. That's alright. I'm just streaming before we talk later today. I just felt like working on some stuff on stream with everybody in here. My eyeball is itchy. Let me see if I can make the chat box a little bigger. Yeah, sounds good, he says to me. He says, oh, I want to do gritty resting. That's right. Player characters regain 1 HP per day. We're going to do gritty resting rules. We gotta capitalize every letter because we're from the US. I'm deep cleaning my wife and I's car in 110-degree heat. Yeah, dude, it's so fucking hot right now. I'm melting in here. Zarek, great to see you, bud. I need allies. These heathens are being magiphobic. Gritty resting rules. So, a long rest is 7 days. A short rest is 8 hours. Caleb mad with this one because he hates this rule. What did I just do? Get this out of here. There we go. Smiles in South American winter. Player characters regain 1 HP per day. Like long rest is 7 days. A short rest is 8 hours. Should capitalize D. What am I missing here? HP per day and can spend hit die plus con mod to regain HP. Is this going to use time passes in the real world and same game? No, because that's so hard. That is how they used to do it, but that's like really hard to do. I tried doing it at first with my Shadow Dark campaign, but it doesn't work when people can't play. Then you have to like, and then like, what if I can't play one day? Then it's like, oh, 3 weeks have gone by. I should probably put this down here, actually. So this is going to stay like that. We're going to cut that out. So your character, no matter what, regains 1 HP per day. We're going to do PC. Should I just say PCs instead? Yeah, PCs can spend hit die plus con mod to regain HP as normal. This makes so hopefully nobody would get confused by reading this. If you can't play, your character had the flu and stayed home. It would be cool to do that. I just don't know how practical it would be. We're just going to actually call this gritty resting rules, actually. We're going to do a subsection here that's called resting. Yes, of course, of course. Tab it like that. Short rest is 8 hours. PCs can spend hit die plus con mod to regain HP as normal. That sounds fair, right? Right before the BBEG unleashes the hell. Yeah. You come back. The Dungeon Master has been running a solo game without you for the past 4 days. And he didn't tell you that the BBEG actually killed your character, unfortunately. What else am I missing here? What are some other like common gritty rules? Oh, I know what I don't want. I don't want Tasha's Cauldron of Everything's, I want this to be compatible with the new D&D, but also I really don't like the new D&D, so... I want to say the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything thing where you can just wipe your race's unique traits and stuff. What is that called? You guys know what that's called. You guys are a bunch of 5e chuds. What is that called? Custom lineage. That's what I don't want. I don't like that. I don't care about nature versus nurture in this world. Custom lineage. The Tasha's custom lineage rules are forbidden. Or I'll say are ill-advised. I think that's the only other thing. I kind of want to do stuff where your ability scores are really low. No. We are we traditionalists are the chuds. They're the soy boys. What do you want these rules to achieve? When I want these rules go hard, it's forbidden. I want these rules to achieve, like, keeping the players grounded. And I want their characters to not be Mary Sue OP, impossible to kill characters. I want this to feel like you're going into an old school dungeon. But I still want you to have, like, the options that are all available to you. I just don't want certain options to be available. Are ill-advised. This is up to the DM's discretion. Period. Can't spell discretion. How do you spell discretion? Should we allow player characters to have feats? Or should we say no feats? How much more boring will the game be for people who just need to have everything when they are not allowed to have feats? Can you get a quick recap of the setting? The spell plague happened. There's no spellcasters. No, this is the Together We Fall setting, which is it's the autonomous D&D rules that I was coming up with, where like the monster stat blocks run themselves. So I'll put this, I think I put this in the Discord already, but I'll put this in the Discord again under Homebrew, and I'll put a link to it in the chat so you guys can look at it again just to get a refresher. Let me see if I can share this. Can I make a link? Copy message link, maybe? Will this work? If you guys click on that in the Discord, it'll take you, or just go to the Homebrew tab on the Discord. You need to set up the possibility to use their wits rather than the numbers on the die. Yes, but also I have to put them within certain parameters, being that technically the Dungeon Master is not running the game. A bunch of random tables are running the game. This isn't meant to be like you're not going to get like Matt Mercer level storytelling with this, but have you added if this then do this type rules yet? I have not, but I'm going to. Nasco Nikolov, hello everyone. What's up, buddy? How are you? That's that if this then do this rules are gonna be in here. This will probably, a lot of those will be under the dungeon generation. Oh, that what you're talking about, that is on the stat block itself. I tried to put that onto the stat block. The idea is, so let me come down here. So let me jump all over the place and confuse you guys even more, because that's my favorite thing to do. All right, so if I put this down here, all right, so let me start typing in here. So I'm good. I'm doing quite well, other than I'm incredibly hot and it's swelteringly hot in my room. Dungeon generation. Alright, so what we'll do is every dungeon has a finite amount of rooms that are created before the boss room is with automatic is going to make for. I don't think that removing the GM with automatic or self-playing NPCs is going to make for a less interesting story. Yeah, as long as I can make the tables good enough, because like I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but I was talking about this game, Escape from Dark Castle. And this game is so cool, and I need to get this game, like, so badly. So, this is it's a game, it's a card-based game, but, like, you still, like, you pick a character, like, they have 6 characters to choose from, it's, like, all medieval. There's 45 chapter cards, okay? And how you play is, you draw from the deck, and like you place the card down and it says like you find a dungeon, there's a creature chained to the wall, it breaks off the wall and charges you, and then you get into combat. I want to do something like that, but the thing is, what I have to try to do is I have to set a finite amount of rooms. So every dungeon, I just don't see the need for the long list of what is not allowed when you can just, I don't know, limit them to 5 levels. Limit them to level 5 and game all the same effects. I still want there to be the freedom of if you want to play a high-level character, though. But obviously I'm going to have to experiment with this, so I don't disagree with you, but I just want to try and see how well it would work if you were playing like a level 10 character or something like that. Because, like, the only real humongous limitation These are basically things that I usually enforce in my own game, so I kind of, that's my excuse as to why I'm doing this. Also, I don't know how to spell discretion, so discretion. Why can't I spell discretion? There we go. Discretion. Thank you, sir. I'm quite brain rotted. My brain doesn't work. Okay, so back to what I was saying about dungeon generation. So in Escape the Dark Castle, I think after you draw so many cards, you get to the boss room. So there's like 45 different room cards in the deck, but you, instead of making it like a, oh my god, we've been going through 60 different rooms of this dungeon, like, when are we going to get to the end? It could be anywhere from 10 to 15 rooms, so like even that would add enough of a what's it called, like I can't think of the word, it's completely escaped me. This is, every dungeon master has this problem. It's enough of a bit of randomness so that, like, you're still caught off guard. You don't know exactly, okay, well, I know if we go through 10 rooms, the boss is going to be in the 10th room. It's like, no, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10 rooms, and the 10th room could be the boss room, or the 7th room could be the boss room. And then the idea is, after you do the boss fight, the dungeon ends. You complete the adventure, you get a shit ton of XP, you level up, and then you can go in and do another one. That's sort of the idea. Almost like a roguelite, AI-controlled dungeon, but all with tables. That has a finite amount of rooms that are created before the boss room. This is determined randomly at the start. I don't know how I would do this. I guess I can't really. Unless it's like every room you go into, you roll a die to see if the next room is the boss room or something. After a number of rooms have been explored, you then begin rolling on a die that then determines the next room you are entering. Something. So it would be like, maybe it's like every time you open a door, after you open 5 doors to go into a room, then you start rolling to see, is this next room going to be the boss room, or is it just going to be another dungeon room? And then, like, after so many, if you reach the maximum, which would be like 10, what you would have to do is so that each room you go through changes the result of the die by 1. So after X number of rooms, it's guaranteed, but then it's random. Yes, that's exactly. You said it better than me. I'm just like going all over the place with my thought process here. Yeah, it's. I'll have to write that out in a more elegant way later. After a number of rooms have been explored. Actually, no, not the Disney ad, please. I can't with the Disney ad. So let's say you roll a d20 whenever you open a door, then you subtract 1 from the result for each room you've opened, and on a roll of 1, then a d20 means you've opened the boss room. I like that. I would do, instead of the room just being like a 1-room dungeon, I would say, like, it's different. So like if you want to do a big dungeon, it could be a d20, but like it could be after 5 rooms, then you start rolling on like a d6, and then it's tracks or something. And if you get a 1, then it's the boss room. So it's more consistent. But I want to make it so that like there's a minimum at least amount of rooms that you can explore. So if like you want to do like a small dungeon, a medium dungeon, or a large dungeon, or even a mega dungeon, could be like a D100 rooms or something. Now it would be cool to have somebody map the dungeon out, but you know, players are lazy and they can't be bothered to do something like that, so that's me throwing shade at player characters. Every dungeon has a finite amount of rooms that are created before the boss room, comma. Whenever you open a door, roll a d20 and subtract a number equal to the amount of rooms you've already entered. On a 1, the next room is the boss room. What level do wizards get the win game spell? Wizards aren't allowed to get any spells above 5th level. Just as an example, you can. That's a good idea, Zurich. I like that idea. At what level does my wizard get to blow up the planet? In their dreams, when they go to sleep after getting their arm torn off by orcs. They can do that every night if they want to. So we can do something like this. I'm not sure how I should do the layout of the text. I don't know if like long cross the thing text is better, or if it looks better if I do it the Shadow Dark way, where it's like two columns. What other mean rule? Oh yes, we need lingering injuries as well. Lingering injuries, we're also going to want to do resurrection rules, because we got to nerf resurrection, otherwise it's not scary. Bruh, I remember the first table I played D&D at told stories of their previous campaign where one of them became a god and punched a planet and it exploded 6 days later. They thought that was awesome. Yeah, I think becoming a god is cringe as a player character. I don't think players should ever be able to get to that level of power, unless it's like the end of the campaign and part of somebody's story. But like, at what point are you just like running OC for people when they get that powerful? Like, to me, I don't get the appeal of that. It's just not grounded enough for me. Lingering injuries. I kind of want to make my own set of lingering injury tables in here. That would be kind of fun. Resurrection rules. Death. We're gonna do dying rules also. Okay, so I think for dying, the easiest thing to do is, and I think one of my favorite rules to do here is the OC. Okay, I have to head out, man. Talk to you in August soon. Alright, Zarek, I will talk to you soon. The OC must reflect how I see my real self. For dying rules, I'm going to say for every time you reach 0 HP after I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I couldn't mute myself quick enough. For every time you reach 0 HP after the first, you gain a point of exhaustion. I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I probably blew your guys' eardrums out. After the first, you gain a point of exhaustion. Oh God, what was I gonna add? Okay, we're gonna do Death's Door. A 2019 unsuspected virus comes to mind. If my stupid players get to 0, I straight up consider them dying depending on what dropped them. Sword through the dome will be insta-kill unless you're wearing a helmet. That's a good idea too. But I have to take into account that these are NPC-controlled bad guys, so they won't be thinking that much. But there will be monsters that have... I think every stat block should have like one thing that is like an insta-kill if it drops you to 0. Maybe. Not everything, but some of them need to have that. Also, is the music too low? Death's Door. After failing after failing 3 death saves, the PC enters Death's Door. I did this in my Shadow Dark game recently, and it was actually really fun. Death's Door. They cannot be healed nor saved at this point, and have one more turn to die in a blaze of glory. They have advantage on all attack rolls. Say they have advantage on all rolls on this final turn. After their turn ends, they die. I wish armor in D&D was more based on how much you have. There was a thing that I was trying to do about that, where like you could have gauntlets, helmets, but that also ends up making the game more crunchy. So this final turn, after their turn ends, they die. The only time this doesn't come into play is like if you get disintegrated or something. So maybe I should say like even if you get disintegrated. We'll say if an effect. If an effect. Let's do this. Hold on. If an effect such as disintegration. God damn it, dude. I can't spell. Disintegrate. Would instantly annihilate a body. That character, or that PC acts. That PC gets one final action before death. I'm going to fix the wording on all of this afterwards. I don't want to like sit here and nitpick the wording, but how do you mean? Definitely takes some time to refine it, so it's not so crunchy, but a little crunch is inevitable with this concept. I have a damage reduction rolling, but my players always forget to retract the damage they take. Yeah, that's the problem with like anything that's like damage reduction. Players just always forget to do it, I feel like. It's like, oh, heavy armor master, you reduce all damage by 3, and then the players just forget to do it. And then it's like, oh, 7 turns later, oh, I should have been reducing all the damage by 3. Can I add all this health back? And then you just have to shake your head. Maybe I shouldn't do lingering injuries and instead just to keep it a little more, not a little less crunchy. That's the word I'm thinking of. Alright, so I got 1 hour to add what I can to this before I have to end the stream because I have a meeting with Zarek later, so... Oh, let's see... resurrection rules. That's what I need to do. These are kind of long. We try to like shorthand the Matt Mercer resurrection rules here. If I can, let me think. I like Matt Mercer's resurrection rules. Let's see here. Where is it? I have it on my other Discord. Yes. Yes, of course. Okay, let's see if this can be shorthanded for me. Heavily reduce the character usage on this and shorthand it for me so I can fit it into a rule book. Oh man, even if I do that, it's still incredibly wordy. Maybe I need to put this on the other page. Oh, let's see. Basically, it'd be cool if armor wasn't treated as a set, but how much of the individual sections you have of it, helmet, gauntlets, breastplate, etc. But I also have it so that damage they reduce damages the armor, and metal armor isn't cheap. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing with my Raven system. So like every time your armor absorbs a hit, it loses a durability, and then after it loses its durability, it like if it goes to 0, then it loses all defensive bonuses. So like you're basically just wearing clothing, which is a simpler way to do it. You just have it literally absorb damage, and then after a certain amount of damage has been absorbed, it's broken. Which would actually be kind of cool, but in D&D 5e, player characters are already too strong, so they don't need anything like that. Let's see if I can I put this down here on this side. Bold this. We're going to change this to PCs. We're going to bold this. We're going to bold this. Out. See if I can put this at the bottom, because this would come last in this order. Death's Door. I think just having exhaustion gain after you keep dropping to 0 is enough to be pretty brutal, I've found. Resurrection rules. Put this at the bottom. Anything else? Any other hardcore rules we can think of? Oh my lord, this is so much. Can you reduce it solely down to pure game mechanics, leaving out any flavor text? Learning spells when you find them not on the new level, that's a good idea too. That would make random loot rolls really cool. But how would the spellcaster players feel about that? They'd probably be quite angry. I can hear Caleb's voice in my head going, "Oh my god, that's so stupid. It's such a silly roll. It just doesn't make any sense to me." Let's see here. What I want to do is I would like to do something here. Let's do this. Let's set the top chat. Sorry if you guys are not getting your messages showing up. Oh my lord, man. This is so wordy. Can I even fit this on here? Oh man, I have to gamify this somehow. Will you allow higher level spells to be cast from scrolls still? Yes. If you read this right here. Yes. Oh, I'll take custom lineage thing out. I just don't like when people play like an orc or a drow and then they remove the sunlight sensitivity. That triggers me. Quite much. I guess feats. Ah, so there is a delete the final boss button. Yeah, if you have power word kill and you power word kill the orc chief, he will still die. Oh my goodness. Okay, so in Matt Mercer's rule for resurrection, if the resurrection spell has a casting time of 1 action, it triggers a resurrection challenge. Can you make a heavily modified version of this that removes the need for the DM's input? Okay, that's better. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Resurrection rules. Dying has its downsides. And then we'll go make a table here. Well, not a table, but we'll do like a little bullet point. Alright, so I think Revivify still works for this. Shift tab. For any resurrection spell with a casting time of 1 action. Just of 1 action. Initiate a resurrection challenge. Up to 3 PCs each make a DC 15 skill check of their choice to coerce the dead, coerce the spirit back to the body. Coerce. Is that how you spell coerce? We'll do this. Okay. I have to fit this in this little tiny space I have left down here, which is not much. So let me see if I can fit this in here. Okay. Each success is -3 to the final DC. Each failure is +1 DC. Make the player character who's dead roll this. Actually, it would make a lot more sense. And then we'll do the dead PC then rolls a DC 10 check with On a success. They revive. Failure. They remain dead. Okay, I'm gonna have to move. I don't think I can fit this stuff over here. Let us see here. Let us see here. Let's put this over here. Take the feet roll out just for now. Players can have their fun with feats for now. This works how this is now, I think. Hold on. I actually can probably condense this slightly. Death's Door. So what are you guys all doing right now? Just AFKing in your brain? Surely my viewers would never brain AFK. After 3 failed death saves, the PC gains 1 final turn. Before dying, they can't be healed and have advantage on all rolls during that turn. At the end of their turn, they die. That's a little easier to read. Let's go like that, like that. Oh dear. We must be able to fit this thing in here. Let us take something from somewhere. I don't know how to lay this out. Maybe I just keep that. Maybe add in this thing at the bottom here, though. My head and think. If an effect would instantly destroy the body. Alright, let's try this instead. We're gonna go. I don't like this, but I don't like this very much, but of course, in order to keep this proper, we must do it. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, I think that's good. I still have empty space down here. I don't like that. I guess I'd put like artwork in there or something. We just throw like something in there so it doesn't look so bad. With some of the stuff that I have here. Let me see a moment. Player rules. So this gets the background removed from it. Oh man. Are you guys alive still? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Come on, man. Move the background, please. From my wizard. There we go. Looks good to me. Alright, let's put a little wizard in here. Throw him down at the bottom. Perhaps we put a dwarf in there as well, just to round this out a little bit. Turning 5e into a Shadow Dark clone. Make him much smaller. Flip him to the other way. He's in the backwards position. Yes. Mayhaps something like this. I just gotta fit him in here somewhere. Alright, get this out of here. Put him right here. Put the wizard in the corner. Still looks a little blank. What a beautiful moment to rejoin. Glad to see the wizard representation. You're welcome. I'm just trying to add some cool stuff. The sock drawer. Yo, what is up, the sock drawer? What's up, sock? How's it going, brother? DM, delete the wizard's hat. I can't delete the wizard's hat. It's magnificent. He wouldn't be a wizard if he didn't have his hat. Do this actually. Make it all the way in the corner. Must do it, my son. Just got off work. What's going on? I am working on a D&D 5e thing. I'm making like an autonomous... It's kind of like for solo D&D, but not quite for solo D&D. It's kind of meant for like duo D&D, so the DM can make a character and play with the players. But it's all randomly, procedurally generated. That's the idea anyways. It may or may not work that way. I cast Delete Archivist. How does this blank space right here make you guys feel? The thing you were mentioning where the enemies run themselves? Yes, it's like that. I'm trying to just like get the baseline thing started. It's called Together We Fall. It's probably gonna have like a mini like example dungeon adventure in it. I have a feeling that'll just be like the rules for how the dungeon is generated. It's going to take some ideas from the Dungeon Master's Guide, where it has the dungeon generation tables, but it's taking heavy inspiration from this game called Escape the Dark Castle. This is a card game. Well, it's not really a card game, but it's kind of a card game. So you have, you know, up to 6 players. You draw from this deck here, and like when you draw the card, it tells you what room of the dungeon you're in. And then after you draw so many cards, you get to the end, and then there's a boss fight. So I'm trying to do something like that, but in D&D. And like I want to try to get all the monsters to play themselves. I think it'd be pretty cool if I can pull it off. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to try to pull it off. Maybe I should try to fit some more player character things in here. Let me see. How about a rogue? Perhaps I cast counter spell. guys are doing a wizard duel. Oh, you guys should look up Dungeon Crawl Classics because they have a really cool mechanic in there called like wizard duels, or like a spell duel, and it's like its own separate mechanic between only spellcasters where they can get into like a Harry Potter style like duel with each other. I think that would be pretty cool. Make this a halfling. Nay, nay, double nay. He's about the same size. Something like this, perhaps? Maybe something else? Let me see if I can... Oh wait, I already got this guy. Oh, perfect. Looks perfect. I like it. There we go. This is your player rules here with all the lovely characters. We just don't have a normal fighter. Oh, I guess the dwarf is a fighter, so... Yes, yes. Excellent. I think this covers all the bases that I need. I can't think of anything else because of resurrection challenge rules. I could probably raise this up slightly. But, okay, we'll move down here. So we had dungeon generation. Is it original classes or regular creation rules? Like you'll use regular creation rules other than like the rules that I've put in place here. So I put like a HP limit, gritty resting rules, dying rules. I did have more stuff in here, but I just wanted to keep the baseline after thinking about it. So this will be like this is kind of all you need to make a character. Other than, you know, it's 5e, so it'll take you about 45 minutes to like 3 hours to make a character, unless you have D&D Beyond, but, you know. It's not quite lined up how I would like. There we go. Okay. So this is where the thing will get a little bit harder as we get down to this thing here. I probably won't get too far on this because this will take a lot of time to make, but we at least got the player creation rules in. So here's where a lot of the variety and stuff comes in. So I guess it would be you would start the adventure off with like maybe a plot hook, or you have to somewhat... 5e actually has the quickest character creation process compared to other editions I've played, at least in my experience. Well, it's definitely not quicker than Shadow Dark. If you're making a character with D&D Beyond, it's pretty fast, but if you're doing the old-fashioned way where you're going through the book, I think what really takes the longest is having to write down like all of your class abilities. If they had character sheets that just had like class abilities that like you just get after you hit a certain level, that would save so much time. I actually have character sheets like that, and I wish they would make those legitimately for the game, because that would actually help the game a lot. But of course they won't, because they're greedy and they want you to use D&D Beyond.
You know, a piece from Joyce's jewelry is...
Oh my god, a jewelry ad. Wow. Oh, very cool. Yeah, this part, I don't know how... I don't think I'm going to get very far into this. Watsy and good design choices. You're dreaming, my friend. You're dreaming big, my friend. Yeah, I know. That's why I haven't been playing D&D 5e very much. Well, how about we... Okay, instead of me doing this, how about we do everybody's favorite thing and you watch me make a stat block? Because I know that's what you guys love to do. I know you love watching me make stat blocks. We'll try to make a skeleton stat block, because I actually kind of have an idea for like a skeleton. Or the dungeon idea that I have is for like undead, so I'm thinking like some skeletons. I think like what I would do also for this is there would be tables in here that would have like, you enter a room, there's enemies in this room, roll on the enemy table, and then it has like different layouts of enemies, so it could be like 4 skeletons and an ogre, or like 12 skeletons, like they vary in difficulty, so like it's meant to drain your resources by the time you get to the boss room. That's the idea anyways. You knew? I need a load of skeleton stat block. Oh dear. This is quite problematic. I don't know if I can even make one in the little time that I have left here. Skeleton stat blocks. I don't even know where I have these stat blocks. Actually, hold on. I need to make another tab open because I need to reference that. Whoops, not that. This. Okay. Here, appendix stat blocks, go to my necromancers, do a skeleton, whoops, do a skeleton. Okay, so this is maybe a halfling skeleton that basically fights like a rogue. Well, I need to make like a basic skeleton first, like just like the regular skeletons that are in the dungeon, and then I could probably do some things like we encountered in Vermis last time we played, with like the crawling skeletons with the dual wielding maces. TGF, Together We Fall module. Now I have to see here. Okay, so everything needs to have an arsenal. And I know people didn't want me to do this last time, but I think NPC stat blocks like this should just use average damage for the speed. Since the DM would have to be controlling his character plus the enemies, instead of having to roll for everybody, I think it's just better if we use the average damage. Skeleton uses the following attacks in combat. We're just gonna take this out. I don't even need all that. Okay. So what does a normal skeleton have? It's an ancient short sword. Which is a simple weapon. It is +4 to hit. +4, and it does 5 damage on hit. 5 slashing. And then they have an ancient short bow. I don't know if you guys have you guys looked at these since I've made them. I don't get too many people that were talking about these whenever I made them. I figured people just weren't really interested in the concept, but I thought the concept was quite interesting. 320 feet, and it does on hit 5 piercing damage. Holy shnikes. No, for the autonomous stat blocks here that I made. Like this orc. Where they play themselves, basically. I think I talked to you about it, I remembered. Skeletal fist. I just arrived. Why do you not write dice formula for the damages? This specific thing is for a game system that I'm making where the enemies are they are kind of controlled by an NPC, and so like the dungeon master won't really be controlling these. They'll be making decisions based on a table on their stat block. So to speed up everything, they're just going to use average damage, basically. That's the idea. I don't know if I'd use automated stat blocks only because I like controlling multiple enemy stat blocks myself. Yeah, but this is for this system specifically. It kind of doesn't work unless you use the automatic stat blocks. Makes sense for that setup you have, though. I'd definitely be interested in trying it out sometime. Yeah, you guys are my guinea pigs anytime I make something new, so I think this should actually just use, instead of this, hold on, I should just use dex only. So what would that be with just the dex? It should be 2, okay. It's gonna be 2. Skeletal scratch. And we're trying to shorthand as much as we can so that I can save as much space as I can. So I'm gonna take all this stuff out now. This is the only thing I don't like is whenever there's this much stuff on here. I need to like try to design my own D&D stat block and see if I can like condense this information even more so that it's like even easier to look at. Okay, so we got that stuff. Is it bold on the orc? Yes it is, okay. Okay, let's see here. Bold these. I don't even know if it's worth putting like simple weapon, natural weapon, just because. Have you seen the 5e 2024 stat block? Yeah, I did. I actually like how they look. I like how they have all the ability scores in the little boxes. That's like probably my favorite thing about it, because that like it's just so clean. What relevancy is there to having this on here other than the player characters wanting to pick up the weapons after they I kind of just have this on here. I mean, really, I kind of just want to take it out. This might make people mad. It's not really relevant. Yeah, I agree. Save space too if I take it out. So this just now tells you. Yeah, I think the only reason I had it on there was just so like, oh, if you go to pick the weapon up, the DM can just look and say, oh, it's a simple weapon, oh, it's a martial weapon, but players don't really pick enemy weapons up that much unless it's to sell them, and you're not really going to be selling these, so. Alright, move. What else do I need to do? I need to do combat behavior now. This is a interesting thing. How would a skeleton act? I think this would be like relentless, right? Because it's undead. It's not going to avoid. Let me get the iron golem stat block that I made, because there's actually a pretty cool iron golem. So what did I do for the Iron Golem? I gave it Relentless, prioritizes the nearest visible enemy. I think this is this will work for this. Prioritizes the nearest visible enemy. It attacks the target until the target is unconscious, dead, or it loses sight. And it makes a wisdom check to locate hidden enemies it is aware of. Switches targets if it's unable to locate. If unable to act, it attempts to end the condition. If prone, it stands. If grappled but able, it attacks the grappler, and it ignores hazards without hesitation unless movement is impossible. So that would say that they'll walk through fire to come after you because they are undead. They don't think about preserving themselves. So I think that works for these. I just hate how big the stat block gets after adding all this stuff. Let's see. So we got Savage, and now I gotta come up with like the actual combat action table. Baba Booey. Orc. Where's my orc? Here he is. Combat actions. Where's my skeleton? There he is. Okay, put that there. We'll go combat actions. Okay, so the skeleton may move up to its speed, then attacks with the highest damage option available. If no melee target is in range, it uses a ranged attack. That's the only thing that sucks about this, is like, how do I, like, it's probably more advantageous if skeletons use their bows and then switch to melee as the characters get close, but we'll just keep it simple for now, I suppose. Okay, makes a melee attack, makes an attack. Let me look at this while it's on here. Alright, so this is how the skeleton will behave. I just copied the orc, so I'll have to change this bottom one. I think most of this works fairly simply. The only thing that will really slow the game down is if there's like 12 of these in a room and then you have to roll for all 12 of them. So that's something I need to figure out, like how to decide how they all act. So maybe you divide them up into groups and then you roll for each group and then that group does that. It'll suck really bad if you rolled the highest number and it's like a super high damage ability and then like 4 creatures are using it. Maybe I just don't give it a special attack because it's just a skeleton after all. So this would be just the example stat block for this adventure, I suppose. Small nitpick, you could shorten a couple words by writing prioritize melee or prioritizing range. Yeah, I probably could. I just want it to be very clear that, like, that it wants to use its melee weapons, but I suppose that works too. Yeah, you're right. I think for the rules, what I'll do for these, so like if I do the stat blocks page, I'll probably have, like, for large groups of enemies, roll the combat actions as a group. So now the idea is you walk into a room, you rolled on the table, there's 12 skeletons in this room, and now you're in a combat with 12 skeletons. You divide both groups up into 6, you roll on their combat action table on their turn, and then it tells you what they do. So if you get a, actually I should probably do this, actually. Make this a little bit less. So on a 1 to 3, it makes an attack. On a 4 to 5, it makes an attack with advantage. And then on a 6, it makes 2 attacks. Attacks with the highest damage option available. Prioritizing melee. If no attacks are possible, it takes the dodge action. I think that's what you meant. I think this works. So now it's a self-running stat block that does... See, what I wanted to see from chat is if you guys had any ideas on, like, things that you could make stuff do. The case study for this whole thing, the closest thing that we have in the base game to this is the Mouth of Grolantor, which is a stat block that runs itself currently. Let's pull this guy up real quick. This guy here. So it says for this guy, on each of its turns, the giant uses all its movement to move towards the nearest creature or whatever else it might perceive as food. So maybe I should try to word it like that too. Although I don't want it to always use all its movement, because if it downs you and then it wants to move to the next closest person after. But for simplicity's sake, this would make it way more simple. I really like creatures like this because then it's not my fault if it does a ton of damage to you, which makes it really fun. But I think this works, and unfortunately I'm about to be out of time here working on this, so I'm going to come down here, I'm going to duplicate this table. Actually, I'm not going to duplicate it. I'm going to copy this table. I'm going to put this table down here. We're going to say probably do something like that, and then I'm going to also call this creature behavior. Then I'm going to put a whole rule system for creature behaviors on here. About to be out of time, unfortunately. I'm about to go out. Peace out, homie. I'm about to end the stream too. Yeah, so guys, keep an eye out for this module. As soon as it's done, I'm probably gonna post it on my Patreon page. Depending on how big it is, it'll be available for purchase, but there will be like a demo rule set for people to use for free as well. then, yeah, I should start. I want to make more stuff like this because it is really fun to make stuff like this. Let me see if I can do really quickly before I leave. I think a one column Giga Chad might look a little better on here. Yeah, I think the one column might look better. Right as you get back, figures. Well, where were you? You shouldn't have left. You wouldn't be having this problem right now, Caleb. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I have to go talk to Zarek about some stuff. I might be possibly joining his team, and the best I can do is 5 columns. Just do a whole page of a stat block. I have to make a boss fight stat block using one of these, which will be pretty cool. And then I want to do a play test of this, like live on a stream with some viewers, possibly, and that would be pretty cool. I'll make a character, or maybe I'll even have like just preset characters. Like I'll just run a stat block or something as my character, and then other people can have player characters. Mayhaps. Ha 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 ha, he says. He laughs at me, he does. So we're making progress on this. It'll take a little bit, but once this gets done, it's going to look pretty cool, I think. Yes, so thank you guys for joining me today. I apologize, it's not a very, ask him when we're playing Call of Cthulhu next. That'll be an August question. I'll have to ask him. Yeah, we gotta finish that campaign because I am curious to see how it ends. Yes, unfortunately, it's a short stream today. I just wanted to hang out with you guys because it's been a while since I've streamed. I'm gonna try to start streaming again more frequently in the upcoming few days. Maybe I'll stream and we'll do some like D&D stuff while I'm streaming. Maybe I'll run some games on stream. That's something I've been wanting to do. I think that would be pretty cool. Alright guys, well, unfortunately all good things must come to an end, so that's going to be DM Dungeon Mastery not saying good night, but I'm just saying. I will catch you guys on the next stream. Keep a lookout. Join the Discord if you're not in there, where I will post updates and I'll let you guys know when I'm streaming next. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, as always.